Hello, everyone. How is everybody doing this evening? You are watching Kilted Prepper Live. So great to have you here. Let's wait a couple seconds actually and let some people get in the room. We're broadcasting tonight in Real Men Wear Kilts. We're broadcasting on my Facebook wall and we are broadcasting on YouTube. So tonight's going to be a lot of fun. I got a fancy schmancy PowerPoint presentation actually to share with you this evening. But tonight's topic is ensuring your family wins during the apocalypse. So, and the apocalypse could be anything. It can be a personal SHTF situation, or it can be, whatever. The zombie apocalypse, all these other things. But what I wanted to talk to you tonight about is giving you some tips, and actually 4 areas that you can work on and ensure that your family can win the day. And what I'm going to share with you tonight is not only something that you can do during the apocalypse. What you want to start doing is doing it now so that you get into these habits, get into it, and get moving. So, hey, Holly. Hey, Joan. Glad to see you made it, Holly. So, now, you guys, I am doing something for my family right now. And what I'm doing, let's see if I can show it to you. See this down here? I'm working out. Also, whoops, whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm working out as we do the show. So, doing it for my family. And that's something that I'm going to cover and everything. Hey, Lori, how you doing? So that's something I'm gonna cover here. Let me see if I can get this camera a little bit better here. So that I got it. There we go. That seems to be better. So Mercedes, good to see you. So, but yeah, tonight I'm going to share some ideas with you, and in fact, share with you 4 ideas that will help you and help your family and get you guys really moving so that you guys win during the apocalypse. So, and this is going to be a audience participation night tonight because I want to see your discussions. I want to see your ideas. So just don't be sitting there like a lump on the rock bog, and make sure that you get involved, because we're kind of like a brain trust, if you want to call it, or the hive, but when we come together and share our ideas, someone like Lori's got an idea, and Joan's got an idea, Holly's got an idea, Mercedes got an idea. I can't put up all the ideas myself, folks. So, but yeah, if I get a little winded too, it's because I'm working out at the same time. I'm doing something called Hard 75. And in Hard 75, you have to do 2 45-minute workouts. And so, let me turn this off. Come on. I got a fan going. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, so I didn't want it to be distracting. But what I'm doing is 2 45-minute workouts, and I have to admit, I didn't get my afternoon workout out. And so I thought, hey, let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone and do the workout here, which I'm doing. I've got my little pedal thing down here below my desk, and I've got it set to high, so I'm getting some good tension, but it exercises the calves and the thighs, and it's a little good cardio, especially when you're doing other things like talking. So, but anyways, what I wanted to share with you tonight is, let's see, is boom, ensuring your family wins during the apocalypse. Isn't that a happy family? We've got the zombie apocalypse going on, and they're just so happy. Let's see how I can do this. Okay. Let's talk about this a little bit here. We are living in perilous times, folks. You know this. I know this. Lots of junk going on. A lot of things that we're facing. We're looking at food shortages. We're looking at inflation, dying economy, job loss. Let's see if I can do this. Boom. Too small. too big. Oh, dang it. So we're seeing division in the U.S. and us versus them mentality, possibly even civil war. I'm hearing a lot of people talk about that and even, thinking about it. Apocalyptic things like nukes, EMP, real pandemics, riots and carnage, etc. Woke agenda, political changes and idealisms, socialism, communism, which I am not a fan of, and the like, which these things are not family friendly. So tonight, I'm going to focus on 4 areas that we can adapt into our lives. And if we consistently do these things, then we're going to win. We're going to see some good winning there. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you can see that or not. I don't know. It's still kind of small. Let's see if I can do this. Ooh, dang it. I wish I can do my, here, hold on. Let's see if I can do this. Remove solo layout and mute. Dang, I'm sorry that I'm having to do this, but I'm trying to find a good position where you guys can see me and you can see the slide at the same time. So I'm going to bounce between back and forth on this one here. So, but tonight what I'm going to share with you is how you can leverage 4 areas. And if you do this daily, if you do this all the time, what you're going to see is you're going to see some real success in your lives and in your family's lives by applying these 4 topics. And what I do, this is called Core 4, and this is what I use to basically win for our family. And by doing this, I'm able to stay on track. Cynthia is able to stay on track. Sarah is kind of 7 years old. It's kind of hard to keep her on track and everything. But by having 4 areas that you're focusing on, then everything gets done. Everything gets taken care of, and you're able to truly succeed. And so this is called the Core 4, and it's something that I apply in my life. I've been doing Core 4. Gosh, my goodness. I've been doing Core 4 now for about 3 years. And it's something I learned in an organization called Warrior. And then right now I'm in an organization called Lions Not Sheep, and they have Core 4. And basically, if you listen to Tony Robbins or some of these other self-help gurus or anything like that, they promote some form of Core 4. And it's a means of organizing yourself so that you will win. You will attain your goals. You will do whatever it is needs to be done. And so Core 4 consists of power, passion, purpose, and production. And what I want to talk to you about a little bit is just some of these ideas in each of these areas. So, for example, we've got power. Power is your body. And so by taking care of your body, doing things like what I'm doing right now, take care of your body, you are going to be able to serve your family better, get in good physical shape, take some form of martial art, because we're going to need that, folks. You don't know if the bad guys are going to come and, start getting real ugly with you. Start eating and feeding your family a clean diet. Maybe focus on keto. Something that I'm doing right now is what I call the 1950s diet, meaning I've looked at what our relatives or our ancestors ate in the 1950s, 1940s, 1950s, because no one ever went to a health gym or worked out or anything like that. They just lived better, so doing a 1950s style diet. So also no sugar and no processed foods. So these are just means of eating better. Get your family off of all the boxed crap, help your family get in some physical fitness program, take family walks, work out together, get your kids involved in martial arts. This is something that we're doing right now as well. We are having Sarah in a Krav Maga class, and she's doing great. She is just kicking it and everything. And I've been working with her at home as well to help her, keep going, learning her punches and doing her kicks and learning to do her grappling and everything like that. And so it really helps. But applying the first P, power, because if your whole family is on board with this, then you will win during the apocalypse. Let's see here. Boom. Next, And in fact, here, is there anybody have any ideas on what is a good, what can you do for the body? What is it that you're maybe doing? What is it that you're maybe eating? How are you eating? Are you focused on eating and everything? Because the better that we are during the apocalypse, the better things will be. And our family becomes more of a cohesive unit. And so if you guys have any comments or anything, put them below now so that I can, share it with the group here. Let's see what's going on. What are you doing that, I can maybe learn from? Next is passion. And this is the loving and caring of your family. Ensure that you spend real time with your spouse and kids. This is true quality time. Send love notes, encouragements to your spouse and kids. Build your family up. Let them know that they are special. Do special things with them, like take meals and have family nights and date nights, and have maybe special days with your kids. Take one of your kids out and everything. The primary key is to build strong bonds with them so that when the apocalypse takes place, the family has a special bond and trust together. And these are things that we're doing. Now, I haven't had, Cynthia's been on the sick side, so we haven't had a date night in probably about 3 weeks or so. But we have date nights. We also have date nights at home, and where, like right now, we're really into Star Trek. And so we'll watch a Star Trek movie and order a pizza on Friday night, or I'll cook a special meal or something like that. Since I'm doing the clean eating right now, what I tend to do is focus more on home cooked meals. Grab out some meat from the freezer and everything, cook something up, use some of the zucchini or the squash or something from the garden, make a nice salad, with the tomatoes and everything that we're growing and everything like that. And so doing a special date night with your spouse, even just staying in is something special, especially if you got kids who are young like we do. It gets expensive hiring babysitters and everything, so why not come up with some other ideas? And so that's something that we do, is we have special date nights just to hang out, have a good meal, watch a movie and everything like that. So doing things like taking your kids out. For example, I'm taking Sarah to Krav Maga. She's got Krav Maga 3 times a week, so I take her and she loves it. And then we'll sit and we'll watch some of the other classes and everything like that. But we're having some good bonding time with that. And then also I work with her in practicing and things. So she loves spending time doing her Krav Maga. She's very excited about it. And in fact, Cynthia just got her a t-shirt. It's funny. She ordered it from Amazon and it says, "I love Jesus and Krav Maga." So pretty funny shirt there. And so Sarah's all excited about getting a Krav Maga shirt and things. But these are things that you can do to really ensure your family. And by loving on our families, and this is something that I don't know if we really do anymore. We do, but we don't. And it seems that we live in such a busy world that are we truly spending good quality time with our spouses and with our kids? Because if we don't have a strong, cohesive love, trust bond now, then what's going to happen during the apocalypse? It's going to get really, really crappy. And so it's important that we start working on this now. And again, look at it, examine your life, see what you're doing, and see if this is something that you guys need to work on. And I think everybody can work on this. It's something that I think we all need. You can never have too much love. And so passion. Next is, anybody have any questions or any comments, or what are you guys doing? What do you think about Friday nights, or what do you see that you do that is helping with passion or something? Do you guys maybe leave sticky notes on your kid's mirror or your spouse's mirror, or this, that, or the other? Do you cook special meals for them or anything like that? What are some of the things that you guys do and things that could help? So let's see here. I saw Mercedes says, "I make it a point to go outside most days, get sun, and ground for a while while having my coffee. That's a good one there, Mercedes. My son and I cook from scratch. I also make my own personal hygiene product. Good job, Joan. Good stuff. Joan says she also goes for walks. So again, these are good things that you're doing and everything, because it will start working your body. It will start working, helping your family and things as well. So the next area that we're looking at is purpose. One of the things that I think is important is that we attend church together as a family. Other things that you can do. Now, what purpose does is it grounds you mentally. What are you doing mentally? What are you doing spiritually? What are you doing to grow your family in a mental, spiritual manner? So again, all this does is it builds bonds and grows things. So attending church together, go on family outings together, or doing training together, right? Maybe going to the gun range, take classes together like first aid, ham radio, bushcraft, Krav Maga. Improve skills by going camping, hunting, fishing together. While you're there, do some foraging. So these are things that what you're doing is growing your family's purpose. And there's all kinds of areas that we can improve on in growing our family's purpose as a cohesive unit. And these are things that you want to do now, because you don't want to be doing it when SHTF is taking place. You want to be doing these things when now, so that you've formed these habits, you've formed these strong bonds for your family. And by doing all these things, you're giving advantage to your family versus people who aren't. Because there's a lot of people that, the husband and the wife come home from work, the kids come home from school, and everybody sits on their cell phones or plays Nintendo or, whatever. They all go off to their own room or whatever. And so what we're seeing is a breakdown of the family unit. But by leveraging the passion, leveraging the purpose, your family unit will become stronger. What about dinner nights without the cell phone? What about dinner nights, period? Do you eat, dinner together as a family? That's a big thing that I'm seeing that a lot of families don't do anymore. But it's these things that will help in passion and purpose, growing the bonds of your family. Let's see here. I walk my dog 2 times a day, and I'm taking different medications. Good job, Holly. Good job. My son is physically disabled, can't not sit or stand for more than 30 minutes, so we attend church services alone. Oh, no, that's sorry. I'm here to hear that. But whatever you can do to, create passion and ensure purpose, the better. Game night, do you guys do game night? That's something that, seems to have gone out the window and everything. I'm really looking into a lot of what did families do during the 1940s and 50s, because technology was there. We still had we had television, we had radio, we had a lot of these other technological things, in a sense, if you get what I'm saying. We didn't have the internet. So what did families do prior to the internet? It's like, oh my goodness, what did families do before the internet? So, but that's the day and age that we live in. So I'm really looking at, I guess, what's called the atomic family. And what did they do? What did they do to spend their evenings and everything? Because if you look back at all these pictures and everything, you see the family going on picnics, or you see the family out there doing barbecues or hiking and camping. And, the family was a very strong unit back in the 40s and 50s. And somewhere in the 60s, all of a sudden, things started to slowly ravel apart. And now with the dawn of the internet, the family has grown even further apart. But the goal of using these core 4 items is to bring the family back together and create a strong, cohesive unit. And because that is what you're going to be needing during, an SHTF situation, the apocalypse, or whatever it is that you want to call it. So Mercedes says, reading more books and less phone. My family has reading at night. Good job, Joan. That's a good one. So that's a great idea. We do that too with Sarah. Sarah is in second grade. She's learning to read and everything. So we'll do reading nights. Cynthia will maybe read a book to her, or we'll have Sarah read a book to us and things. So, but these are things that build strong family cohesion. And again, if we start looking back at the families during the 1940s and 1950s, that, what did they do? And so I've been doing a lot of research. In fact, I've been doing a lot, like I said, I've been doing a lot of research on diet and what is the diet that they ate? How did they eat? Because again, I mean, it's amazing. Look at these pictures of people in the 1940s and 50s, and they didn't go to the gym. They didn't have any exercise program or anything like that. What the heck did they eat? How did they eat? And so I'm starting to really try to copy and look at recipes and eating styles and everything during those times, because they were doing something right. They were taking care of their bodies naturally without having to augment via the gym or vitamins and this, that, and the other and stuff. So Holly says, Sundays is when I was growing up, going to church and family dinner. Yeah, that is something that, again, built the strong, cohesive family unit. And so that's, again, what we're looking at is what can we do? What can we promote? And again, with purpose is leveraging this time, leveraging these things for possibly even training. That's why I'm throwing in going to the gun range together, maybe take a ham radio class together, bushcraft and everything. Can you rub two sticks together and make a fire? These are fun things. These are things that kids love to do too, as well. But again, it builds family cohesion, and that's what we want to do. So what ideas and comments do you have? And, post comments below. We had a lot of stews as mom and dad had 9 kids. During that time, yeah, there was a lot of kids during those times too. And so, they had to make a pound of beef go far. And, so yeah, it seemed that families had larger families and, yeah, stretch out the meals a lot further and everything like that. So next, and I know I'm going kind of fast here, but production. And production is important because I'm one who believes that you need to have side hustles. You need to have extra other income streams and everything, so that you can, you have income coming in. And, because what happens if dad loses a job or mom loses a job or both loses a job and everything? It's going to definitely probably happen during an SHTF situation or an apocalyptic situation. And so, things that I'm looking at, building a garden and passing on those gardening skills. Food is an investment. Do your kids know how to garden? Does your spouse know how to garden and everything? Have a family garden, have the family get out there and do it. Look at what the family do for a side hustle, create a family business the entire family can do and get involved in. I mean, if you attended my alternate income class, I taught about what I call, basically it's a Ben Franklin list. And what you did is you wrote your skills down and you wrote your things that you love down, and you made 2 columns. And then by doing all these different skills and things that you love, and then you start cross-referencing them, and you start seeing things that come into common. And by doing that, you start discovering a possible side hustle. So by having the family sit down together and do a love skills test or a love skills paper or whatever you want to call it, but by doing that, we're going to be able to put all the skills that the family has, as well as all the things that the family loves to do. And by doing that, you might start seeing some cross-referencing here, some things that are compatible to each other, and somehow create a family business. So encouraging entrepreneurship with your kids, teaching them to how to earn money. I mean, that was something, again, that was very popular to do with, the 1940s and 50s, families. Kids had lemonade stands. Today, not so much, because, sometimes the cops come down, and I think it's idiotic. But another thing is maybe let them have a garage sale where they get to sell their stuff and earn their own money. So the more things that you can do to teach your kids how to be entrepreneurs, the better. And so learning new skills. What are some skills that maybe the family loves learning leather craft? I'm just pulling this one out, but why not teach leather craft? Why not have the family do leather craft and make leather items? These are things that you guys can do as a family. Johnny does this, Debbie does that, mom does this, dad does that, and you have then a little family business of things that you can make out of leather. You can do all kinds of things, all kinds of crafts and such that are totally usable during the apocalypse. So let's see here. So any questions or comments on production? What are you guys doing? Have you guys thought about what you guys can do for a side hustle or anything like that during the apocalypse? Or what barter and trade skills do you have that you can use during the apocalypse and such? But what I'm teaching you here, again, is called Core 4. And with using Core 4, if you use these 4 ideas and you focus on these 4 ideas and you put your goals down in these 4 ideas, then you're going to really start seeing some wins. Now, one of the things that I apply, so for under passion, for example, and one of my goals was yesterday, Cynthia raked up all this grass and everything, and she then pooped out. And so she asked if I would, go out there and pick up the piles, add them to the compost pile, so forth and so on. And so I added that to my passion Core 4. And then, I checked it off once I got it done. But if you add just a couple things to a Core 4 list and do a Core 4 list every day, then you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. And so other things that I do is, for me, I work out every day. I, send love texts and comments to Cynthia. I do things with Sarah. I'm constantly, learning and reading and everything. And then I'm also looking into, creating cash flow. And I do that through a lot of my affiliates. I do that with my Amazon. I do that with my Thrive. I do that with my Patriot Switch. And so I'm creating income. And these are skills and everything too that eventually I want to start passing down to Sarah. I've discovered some books right now that teach entrepreneurialism to young children. And so I'm going to be ordering these books so that Sarah can start learning about entrepreneurship. And then that way she doesn't have to depend on a job. And folks, if you guys don't know, you know what JOB stands for? JOB stands for just over broke. And so by having side hustles and having these side businesses and everything, you're above the just over broke stage. So Joan says, I can sew, knit, crochet. I taught myself how to do that. Pine needle baskets. Oh, how cool. I'd love to see some pictures. Do me a favor, Joan. I know you're in my group. Post some pictures of your pine needle baskets. I would love to see some of those. That would be neat to see. But by leveraging the Core 4, you can, again, achieve anything. And doing it, oops, wrong. By leveraging Core 4 every day in your life, which is something that I do, and I've been doing it now for, 3 years, 4 years, and you can basically achieve anything, grow anything, do anything. And Core 4 also helps you take baby steps. You can get your family's bodies in shape, by eating better and getting in better physical fitness. Grow your family's bonds through passion and purpose, which is massively needed in today's world. I think the family is kind of separated and everything. Create incomes and skills that you can barter and trade. And so these are all things that you can do just by leveraging a Core 4 idea. And it's a very successful idea. Because again, all these, basically self-help gurus and everything, focus on a Core 4 idea in one way or another. And so by doing that, you're definitely going to win. Your family's going to win. And by doing these things now, starting to get in the habit, you just don't wake up and say, oh, I'm going to start doing this. You always fall. You always fade. You always, things drop by the sidelines and everything. That's just the way human nature is. We're creatures of habit where we will usually take the path of least resistance. And so by having a system, and that's what why I like the core four system. I can apply that to anywhere. I can apply that to bettering my family. I can apply that to bettering myself. I can apply that to bettering my business. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can do to, leverage a core four system and make things go, make things happen. And, it just, and again, do it now. It's better late than never. Better late than never. Like, who said that? Chantel said that. Thank you, Chantel. Better late than never. So, what are your thoughts and comments on this? Do you think I'm, blowing smoke up your fourth point of contact? Do you think these are good ideas? Are these things that you can do? And the key is just doing it. And that's where a lot of people have issues, is just getting off their lazy butts and doing it. But we're coming into a time, folks, where things are getting shady. Things are starting to get really weird out there. And almost daily we are seeing, stuff happen. One of my viewers sent me a very interesting video that I might share with folks. I don't know, but it's really showing what China is doing to the US right now, and how China is, if you don't know this, and if you don't understand this, we are literally in an economic war with China, and the average Joe just doesn't pay attention. And we are not doing too good in this economic war because China has us over the barrel. Now, in some parts, we have China over the barrel, but in the bigger play and scope of things, China has US over the barrel. Our trade deficit is ridiculous. They buy way more of our stuff versus us buying some of their stuff. Or excuse me, we buy more of their stuff versus them buying a lot of our stuff. But we are in a serious economic war, and China is the one who is winning. And I don't want to say I'm fearful or anything like that, but it has me greatly concerned, because China can shut us off like that. Just in a matter of a week, they can shut us off. And then if we didn't have our cheap Chinese stuff, which we as a nation depend so much on, and if we didn't get the raw materials to make stuff that we get from China, then again, we would be screwed, blued, and tattooed and up the creek without a paddle. And again, so many people don't realize that we are in a serious economic war with China, and China has basically all the cards. So it's not a good situation. And, and I've been preaching about this for a while, but this is one area that has me greatly concerned. And so I'm doing everything to help strengthen my family and build my family up so that we will win if anything does happen. And it would behoove you to do the same thing and not be lazy about it, because we don't know when the ball is going to drop. We don't know when something might take place and everything. I mean, just look what happened in Israel yesterday. I mean, if you guys haven't been paying attention, frickin' Hamas sent over 900 missiles into Israel and bombed the crap out of Israel. And then also they've captured and are holding hostage over 100 people, 150 people, and everything. Now, could that happen here in the United States? I don't see that. But I'm just showing you that something can happen just like that overnight, and the world changes. So the world has changed in Israel right now. What sort of situation could cause America to change overnight? Could our dollar die overnight? Could the stock market crash massively overnight? Could this happen? Could that happen? What we're slowly seeing, we've been slow in a slow trickle going on. We've been having food shortages, and food shortages are going to get worse. We are having banking issues, and banking issues are going to get worse. I just saw just the other day, a couple other banks are now having problems, and so it looks like they're going to be absorbed by other banks, and FDIC and all this other junk is going to have to bail them out and everything like that. But these are things that can literally affect us overnight. And then we're going to be in a screwed, blued, and tattooed situation. So this is why I've been preaching this stuff, because we need to do something now. Because again, you don't want to be pulled, have the wool pulled over your eyes or the rug pulled out from underneath you or anything like that. And then you're having to do all that under stress, duress, and chaos. So this is why I'm strongly suggesting why I'm teaching you this stuff. And sometimes I know some of this stuff says, this is bullshit, this is boring, I hate this. Why am I even doing this? Isn't prepper crap. But it is. This is realistic prepping. My motto is realistic prepping for real people. And this is real stuff. There's a guy called Selko that lived through the Chechenian War. And he writes a lot of things. And so I read a lot of his work, get his book. You want a serious wake-up call. Get Selko's book, start reading Selko's articles. You can Google him, Selko, Selco. And or Selko Chechnya or Selko Bosnia, and read some of the things that he talks about. And again, this is stuff that happened overnight, and he lived through hell, living through the Chechen Bosnian War and everything. But again, start doing these things now so that we have them in our brains already. We're in these habits and stuff so that we don't, our family doesn't fall apart, and our family will win. And by doing a lot of these things, our family will win. So, but yeah, it's, let's see. Do you know that we only have one company making denim jeans in the U.S.? Wrangler and Levi Strauss are now owned by the Chinese. Yeah, I totally knew that. In fact, China is the number one producer of cotton. And that's why a lot of clothing comes out of China. A lot of the cotton clothing that we wear every day is made in China. So a lot of the t-shirts, a lot of the jeans, a lot of anything pretty much cotton, because they're the number one producers of cotton in the world. So a lot of these companies are over there. And China's bought them out. China owns Levi's. China owns Wrangler. And that's, there's a list out there. And I don't know if you've seen, you can Google it. But it's a list of 100 companies that we thought were owned in America, or we thought was American made or American owned, but are not. But look that up and you will be amazed how many companies are actually owned by China. And so even if these 100 companies, if they throw the switch on those, we're screwed, blued, and tattooed. And so, and again, and this is why I preach it and everything, the people don't know how much of a barrel China has over us. And again, there's things that we have over China, but not to the extent that China has over us. They can throw us into a serious, crap storm overnight. And all they would have to do is say, hey, we're not shipping this stuff out anymore. And in fact, what was it, last week or the week before, they canceled even more agricultural contracts. Even prior to that, about a month or so ago, they stopped germanium and gallium, and just boom, overnight, we're shutting it off. And so America has really had to, hustle and everything to get those rare earth metals for the microchip, industry and things. So this is the kind of power that China has over us. And I talk a lot about securing your own personal supply chain. And if you don't have these personal supply chains secured now, if China shuts things off or something overnight, which they can do, and they've been kind of preaching it that they might, that again, you're going to be screwed, blued, and tattooed. And so I have made connection with some local farmers where I buy meat, eggs, dairy, fruit, and vegetables. Good job, Mercedes. I frequently farmers markets and learn how to eat seasonably. Know your farmer and buy local. I totally agree. Totally agree. And to take that a step further, if you start growing a garden and you have a plethora of stuff like we do, we have a plethora of freaking tomatoes and zucchini. And so if we were in this situation where we could barter and trade, or it was needed to be barter and trade, we'd have a lot of tomatoes and zucchini to trade. And so, hey, man, I'll trade you a basket of tomatoes and a zucchini for a dozen eggs. So again, food is money, food is an investment. And the more that you can grow and do and things like that, the better you'll be, as well as eating healthier. I mean, we've been eating super healthy because of our garden this year. Our grocery bill, I went grocery shopping again just yesterday, day before, and it was just 131 bucks because we're eating a lot out of the garden. We're eating a lot of the food that we have prepped up already. We're eating a lot of the food that's in the freezer that I can, and how I replenish everything is by shopping sales. And again, that's creating a personal supply chain. But basically, what we've done is turn our prep pantry into our grocery store, and that's where we kind of shop. And all I do then is shop sales and replenish. And so not only are we saving money in that arena, we're eating a heck of a lot healthier. Now, another thing that we've done is we've eliminated Walmart in regards to all our consumer goods. We are no longer buying shampoo, toilet cleaner, baby wipes or butt wipes or whatever it is you want to call them, or acetaminophen or anything else. We're not buying any of that stuff from Walmart anymore, and we haven't now for 3-4 months because we're leveraging Patriot Switch. Patriot Switch is our consumer goods supply chain. Thrive Life is our survival food supply chain. Our garden is our personal produce supply chain. And then our farmers market and getting to know our local farmers and ranchers are another personal supply chain. And so by doing all these things, we are building our own personal supply chain so that if China or SHTF happens, we're going to feel a ripple. We're not going to be hit with a cascade like most people and start freaking out. And again, I always remind people of, remember those toilet paper wars that were happening in the Walmart aisles. That, I think, is what's going to happen, but on a much grander scale, because we're going to be lacking food, we're going to be lacking consumer goods, and so forth and so on. A lot of the high price items like TVs, computers, VCRs, or just people use VCRs anymore, bad choice. But a lot of the higher price items will still be there, but they're going to be so high a price that people won't be able to afford it. But a lot of the common everyday items are going to be gone, or in very slim, short supply. So again, this is why I preach so hard. Start getting your supply chain, personal supply chain in order. And then also, this is another way that you can leverage the core four is start creating a list for all your preps. What do I need to do with my preps? How can I leverage core four to get my family prepared? And so you can start writing down goals in those 4 different areas and start achieving them. I mean, you can do it every day, you can do it weekly, you can do it every other day, whatever fits your model and everything. But I have found leveraging the core four system helps me to super organize, helps me to get crap done. And in doing all that too, I grow stronger bonds with Cynthia. I grow stronger bonds with Sarah. We have purpose in our family. We are spiritually and physically good. Well, Cynthia, she's having that illness right now, but we have a light at the end of the tunnel. For those who don't know, I don't know if I shared this or not, but we did go to the rheumatologist, and Cynthia does not have a autoimmune disease, which is a biggie, and we are so glad that she doesn't. Come to find out, her body is exhausted because she has had a heart attack. She had a blood clot in her lung. We moved here to Virginia. We've done this, that, and the other. And since June, which is when all this came about, her hip has been massively messed up. And so her body is just demanding rest and basically screaming out, hey, cure me, cure me, cure me. So she's going to get a hip replacement. And the doctors think that once she does that, everything is going to be good. She's been taken off of the, oh gosh, what is it? One of you guys told me just the other day, she's on a steroid. It starts with a P. I always forget that stupid name, but the doctor is weaning her off of that. You just can't jump off of it because your adrenal glands, basically what this steroid does, is basically replaces your adrenal glands. And so when you're taking this steroid that starts with a P, and it's very common, it basically subverts the adrenal gland. And so you have to come off of it slowly and allowing your adrenal gland to come up. Prednisone. Thank you, Joan. I don't know why I always forget that stupid name. But yeah, you just can't get off of prednisone. So the doctor's slowly weaning her off and everything. But praise the Lord, she does not have an autoimmune disease. And the doctor strongly feels that if she gets a hip replacement, that her body will then start bouncing back and will be very glad that it is, in good health again. So, but yeah, so that's been the really great news and everything. So again, I don't know if I shared that with you guys or not, but yeah, this last Monday we did that, and so great news. But needless to say, these are things that we can do, we can leverage, and we can by leveraging the core 4 system in various areas of your life, you're going to be able to get ahead so much faster. Because basically the core 4 system also teaches baby steps, or allows you to do baby steps. You're not eating the elephant in big chunks, you're eating the elephant in small bites. And so, like, for example, in the passion area, and I told you this, is that Cynthia wanted me to rake up the leaves. So I added it to that next day's passion in my goals list. And then I also have a to-do list by her. And what I do is I just add 1 or 2 of those items to the passion list as well, because these are things that are important to Cynthia. And so since they're important to her, I want to make sure that I do them and everything like that. And so by doing these things, you'll be amazed at how far you can get ahead, how far you can go. And then again, it's baby steps. It's not eating the elephant. It's not having to take on the world. It's not so, when you become so overwhelmed and everything, the core 4 system will help you achieve all these goals, achieve your preps, achieve your life, achieve your relationships, and so forth. And so this is why I push this, because it's been working in my life for a long time. And we're living proof of this, because it works. So let's see here. Mercedes says, I started a small garden as well. Good job, Mercedes. Prednisone, yes. My dog is taking prednisone for allergies. Yeah, yeah. In short doses or short time spans, you can wean off fast. But Cynthia's actually been on a pretty high dose of prednisone since July, and she's been taking that daily. So there's some, like I said, you got to step down off of that. So that's what the doctor's doing right now. Right now, my goal is to get rid of this nasty cold. yeah, big time. I think I saw you post in the group there, Joan, and everything. Try looking at adding zinc and also adding D3 to your regime, or whatever it is that you're taking, because both of those have been shown over and over again that they have a strong effect against the common cold. So try that. Whenever I have, or I feel a cold coming on, or Sarah comes home with sniffles or anything, there's these zinc tablets. They taste like orange and everything, and you can get them at Walmart, get them wherever. We actually now buy them from Patriot Switch. But and then I take those, and whenever a cold is thinking coming on and stuff, and then I also take like a NyQuil sort of thing, and you can get that as well. I think no, you can't. Not at that's one thing that actually I can't get yet, and I think it's because it has alcohol in it. So, but and she said, I do those. Okay, good job, John. But hopefully tonight I presented some information that is helpful. And I know some of you might think it's boring or tedious, or, what the hell does this have to do really with prepping and everything? And I feel like, I'm the watchman on the wall, trying to warn people that you guys need to start doing stuff, because I see stuff on the horizon. And like I said, the biggest issue that I see is China. A lot of people are scared about EMP, and I have personally, I have just discredited EMP, because the powers that be, the Illuminati, or whoever, Bilderbergers, or whoever you want to, thinks ruling the world, loves their electronics and loves the internet and has leveraged the internet greatly. And so I just don't see the powers that be allowing an EMP take place. So I've kind of scratched that one off, even with crazy, third world countries doing something. Again, I don't see it happening, but because again, the powers that be love the internet, they love the digital, and they're still continuing to push the CBDC down us, which eventually someday soon, that's going to happen no matter what. Hopefully, if we get a good president coming in, next term, that they'll slow or put the brakes on that one and things. But that's just my thing. Very important. My husband and son are standing over my shoulder listening to you. You have their attention. Thank you very much there, Holly. I appreciate it. Hey guys, how you doing? So but by doing these things, you guys will win during the apocalypse, because if you do these things now, you guys will win now. And like I said, there are some things that are just sitting there on the precipice that are they're just like sitting on a point, and all we need to do is add a couple more weights to this side, and it's going to go boop, and it's going to be up the creek without a paddle. Let's say it that way. But there's some things that we are facing as a nation that the masses have no idea that is going on. And I'm not wearing a tinfoil hat. If you start, reading Forbes, if you start reading Wall Street Journal, if you start reading, Market Watch, and these are some of the things that I read. And when you start reading some of these things and you start realizing the leverage that China has over us, then yeah, it'll start freaking you out too. But China has a lot of leverage over us in a lot of ways, and we have very little leverage on them. And so, but that's everything I can think about, folks. Hopefully this has been a good treat, good evening for you. You've learned a lot. Apply these, folks. I mean it. Start doing it now so that you get in the habit. It's going to take 90 days for you to start doing these habits and getting used to them and doing them every day and everything. But if you do, you will see your life change immensely. You'll be amazed at how well your family is prepared. And you're not going to be dealing with the mass mobs and the sheeple crowds or the riots and all this other crap when everything does possibly fall. If we do see, food wars and consumer good wars and, all this other junk that I think that we're going to be facing as a nation. So Raymond Moore, Kilted Prepper, I just thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. Coffee with Ray. Also, something I'm going to let you guys know. Because Sarah is taking Krav Maga on Saturday mornings, I am not going to do Coffee with Ray anymore on Saturday mornings. Instead, I'm going to be doing the Saturday Night Live. So by doing that, I'm able to take her to her Krav Maga class and allow that. Now, if her class changes or she moves up to a different class or something, then maybe I'll start doing Coffee with Ray on Saturday mornings again. But at the moment, I'm letting you know that I'm going to take a respite on Coffee with Ray on Saturdays because Sarah has Krav Maga, and I think it's very important that she's in that class and she's becoming a little bruiser. Like I said, I've got this pad and she can punch and she can kick and things. So, but yeah, so we'll see you tomorrow. Coffee with Ray, 9 a.m. Eastern. And Sundays, I usually talk about a Bible verse and things. So join me tomorrow. We'll see you. If you're new to this channel and new to watching here, like, subscribe, share, ring that little bell. Do me a favor right now. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. And, help me get raised up in the YouTube ratings. So Raymond Moore, Kilted Prepper. We'll see you. Goodbye. God bless and kilt on.